Welcome to Ajka Vishleshan, today's analysis. So glad you're here, because we are diving into something absolutely wild today. It's a concept that's literally been hiding in plain sight for centuries. We're unpacking the 2-minute sleep secret. Think of it as this beautiful intersection where ancient Vedic wisdom shakes hands with modern neuroscience. Now, if you've ever felt like you're just grinding away, working nonstop, but still not seeing the results you want, yeah, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Let's just kick things off with a massive question. Why is it that just 1% of people seem to crush it, while the other 99% just struggle? Seriously, have you ever wondered what actually separates an ordinary person from a true legend? I'll give you a hint. It's not just blind luck. And actually, scratch that. It's not even about who grinds the hardest. The real secret sauce, it's all about their state of mind in the final moments of their day. Those last few minutes before you drift off aren't just about resting your physical body. They are the exact moment you can unlock, literally, the greatest treasure in the universe. But hey, before we get into the hardcore science, picture this for a second. Imagine someone who has just laid it all on the line. They've sacrificed sleep, they've sweat, they've worked day and night for their dream. But then the day ends and nothing, just failure. They're lying in bed staring blankly at the ceiling, just completely helpless, wondering where it all went wrong. It feels like the whole universe is just working against them, right? If you've ever felt that deep, heavy frustration, I want you to signal that you're ready for a change. Go drop "I feel it" in the comments right now. Make this the moment you tell the universe you're ready to flip that pain into power. Okay, let's dive into this. We're bridging a pretty massive gap here. On one side, we've got what modern neuroscience likes to call sleep programming and the hypnagogic state. Fancy terms, right? But check this out. Thousands of years ago, our ancient texts had already mapped this exact same thing out as yoga nidra and swapna sadhana. So this isn't some new age internet trend. We're talking about a deeply rooted science that was intentionally kept under wraps in the Vedas and Upanishads, so it wouldn't be misused. We're really just rediscovering what the ancient masters already figured out. So what's actually happening in your head? The brainwave science here is just wow. When you're awake, you're in a beta state. That's your logical brain running the show, and let's be real, it's usually driven by stress, to-do lists, and fear. But right as your eyelids start getting heavy, you slip into the hypnagogic state. Your brain shifts gears into alpha and then theta waves. In this tiny 2-minute window, the wall between your stressed-out conscious mind and your completely limitless subconscious mind gets paper thin. The logic shuts down, and your subconscious practically sits wide awake, just waiting for instructions. And guess what? The greatest minds in history completely hacked this state. Take Thomas Edison. He had this brilliant, almost bizarre method. He'd sit back in his chair, holding a heavy iron ball, and he'd just let himself drift off. The exact second he crossed over into deep sleep, his hand would relax, the ball would smash onto the floor, and bam, he'd wake right up. Why go through all that trouble? Because in that exact fleeting split second, his subconscious mind was basically handing him these absolute genius ideas that his waking brain could never have come up with. But honestly, this wasn't just Edison's quirky little party trick. We see this all over human history. The ancient Egyptians literally built massive sleep temples specifically for people to sleep in and receive divine answers. The Greeks, they were doing the same thing with incubation techniques. Albert Einstein practically relied on his sleep states to untangle complex physics problems. These legendary thinkers and entire advanced civilizations knew something we forgot. Sleep is not just a biological break. It is a literal recharge station for your soul and a direct hotline to universal intelligence. Which brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing, Sankalpa Vigyan. Look, the internet today is absolutely obsessed with the law of attraction, right? But the Rig Veda mapped this entire concept out thousands of years ago as the science of resolution. The Vedas tell us that the whole universe is just vibrations, and your thoughts, they're vibrations too. So when you hold a very specific thought right before you fall asleep, you are basically handing that frequency directly over to the cosmos. You're officially submitting your request. Just think of it like this. Your subconscious mind is essentially the ultimate Google search engine, plugged directly into all the knowledge ever. And those 2 minutes right before sleep, that is your enter button. Seriously, when you type something into Google and hit enter, you don't sit there sweating over how the servers are processing the data, do you? No, you just trust the results will pop up. Your brain works exactly the same way. You input the thought, you hit enter by falling asleep, and you just let the universe fetch the data. Now, here is where most of us are making a massive, terrible mistake every single night. We get into bed, and what do?
We doom scroll. We soak up negative news, stressful videos, and just pure toxicity right before our eyes shut. Because of how the subconscious works, whatever emotion you are holding onto as you drift off gets locked into an 8-hour loop. If you go to sleep anxious, you are literally programming your nervous system to practice failure all night long. You could be hustling all day, only to completely tear it all down while you sleep. Kind of terrifying, right? But don't worry, we're fixing that tonight. We are going to use the supreme technique. Straight out of the ancient Vyambhairav Tantra, Lord Shiva explains to goddess Parvati exactly how to enter this void state through pure, absolute focus. It's essentially the ultimate hack to bypass your noisy, overthinking mind and plant a seed directly into your subconscious. This isn't just nice theory, guys. This is a highly actionable practice that you can and absolutely should try tonight. So here is the exact playbook. Step 1 is Shavasana. You just lie in bed, let your body go totally limp. Your body goes to sleep, but your mind stays gently awake. Step 2 is the seed. As things get quiet, you just drop one crystal clear question into your mind. Could be about your job, your health, a relationship, whatever. Step 3 is super important. Sakshi Bhav, or witness consciousness. Do not try to answer the question. You just watch it like a seed planted in the dirt. And finally, step 4, surrender. You just fall asleep, completely trusting the process. And hey, if your logical brain is demanding modern proof right now, psychology actually backs this up. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, human brains are hardwired to obsess over uncompleted tasks. So, by asking a question and intentionally not answering it before you sleep, you are completely weaponizing this psychological quirk. Your brain sees that unanswered question as a direct command. While you're sleeping, it's busy forming new neural pathways, scanning everything you know, and tapping into universal data to find the answer. So how does the universe actually deliver this to you? Well, it has its ways. The Vedas say that sometimes you'll get the answer straight up in a dream, tapping into the Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb of creation. Other times, you'll just wake up with this massive sudden epiphany out of nowhere. Or maybe you'll be having a totally random chat the next day, and exactly what you needed to hear will just pop out of someone else's mouth. That is literally quantum physics in action. You set the frequency and the universe matched it. But listen closely, because there are few strict rules to this. It's all about shraddha, or deep trust. First off, keep your logical mind out of this. If you go into this holding on to fear or secretly doubting it's going to work, you're just spamming your mental supercomputer with confusing signals. You have to ask your question with the pure, absolute, undeniable trust of a little kid asking their mom for something. They don't stress over the logistics of how mom's going to get it. They just know she's got it handled. Swami Vivekananda nailed it when he said, every soul is potentially divine. Now, when you try this tonight, your mind is probably going to wander. It might feel a little weird or clunky at first, but please, whatever you do, don't give up. That infinite power is already sitting right there in your subconscious, just waiting for you to use it. The ancient texts are super clear. Practice and detachment are how you train the mind. Give yourself a little grace and just commit to trying this every night. Because at the end of the day, the ultimate truth is Soham Asmi. I am that. You really need to remember that you're not just some biological machine just going through the motions. You are an active participant in this massive cosmic intelligence. You are a source of infinite energy. Some of the greatest empires in history were built on visions that came out of total silence. The biggest breakthroughs happen in this exact state of quiet connection. So look, this isn't just a cute little bedtime routine. This is your daily sadhana, your personal discipline. Tonight, I challenge you. Put the phone away, mute the outside noise, and ask your subconscious that one burning question. And hey, I want you to commit to this right now. Hit that like and subscribe button. Yes, it helps the channel grow, but more importantly, it's a physical click that registers your commitment to mastering your own mind. When the magic starts happening, and it will, come back and drop your success story in the comments so others can see what's possible. Seriously, start tonight. Because if 2 minutes of silence could literally rewrite your entire destiny, what on earth are you waiting for?